Hey there guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for you today. And this is coming from the test server. This is a part of Save the Universe Season 2, is the best way to refer to it as. So in Season 1, you're used to having 3 content releases. One was like a Superman theme, Batman theme content, and Wonder Woman theme content. This time we just have Superman. We have 2 sets. So we're looking at the first set's going to be the Last Son of Krypton, which is what we're doing here. The solo, the Volcano Mining Facility, the 4-player, and then Kandor City Tower, the 8-player raid. And then the second set is going to be the Lexcorp Tower solo, Smallville, and Darkseid War Factory. And then with Save the Universe, because it's upscaled content, we do have elite versions of those. So now we have an elite version. Well, this is the elite version of the solo. We have an elite version of Smallville, which no one's ever seen before. We have an elite version upscaled of Darkseid War Factory. So that'll be interesting. That'll be kind of like the same level of difficulty, if not, it should be a lot higher than Throwing the Dead. Because Darkseid War Factory is top 5 hardest raids we've had. But let's not really touch on that yet. There's also a refreshed vendor, which I'll bring you as well in a separate video. This is going to be talking about the solos. So the first part of this video is going to be the Last Son of Krypton, which is what I'm running now. And then the second part will be Lexcorp Tower. So really, difficulty-wise, I mean, yeah, the ads are 386. They're a lot higher than you. In terms of the only damage really I'm taking, like you see that I'm near death, is really just because of how spread out the ads are. It's just annoying, and I just want to speed up time, so I'm trying to gather up all the ads first and attack. So I mean, you could easily just take one section of ads at once and not have that trouble. And I swear, this happens every time I run this solo. That one friggin' NPC blocks. Who just hold blocks in the hallway? Oh, there's a player coming. Let me just hold block. So that when you hit the lunge, because you're trying to speed up through the hallway, you just get countered. So that's annoying. And then you just saw my first and only mistake of this alert. Or not alert, this solo. Do not forget to skip the cutscenes, because with Save the Universe, you all know that all the feats go up to like, I don't know, it's like 250 or something like that. You have to run like 250 solos, 250 alerts, 250 raids, something like that. I don't know if the feats are increasing. I highly doubt it, because this is just the second rendition of Save the Universe. So the developers can't have expected players to, I know plenty of people did, but they can't expect players to just sit and farm like 50 raids per day just so that they can get the release in the 2-week window it was, and when it came back at the end. So, but that's TBD technically. They haven't spoken about anything or mentioned anything about the feed increase, but there are some changes on the vendor. But don't forget, when you're rerunning all this stuff, is to make sure you turn off the cutscenes. I mean, unless you really want to see the story. And I'm sure there's going to be some comic book enthusiasts that are upset at me because I'm running a Superman ally in content where he's supposed to be dead or helping. So I've got Superman. Well, I guess you could make the case where it's like a, alternate dimension Superman helping me. But yeah, the easiest way, I'm kind of stubborn with this alert. And I keep saying alert, but it's a solo. I mean, obviously, you don't have to let him sit in that white aura that's healing him. You can either disable it from the terminals or just lunge him to get him out of it. I just keep going as hard light. It's unfortunate, hard light's power. Even with a cyborg, I'd have to drop Batman or Laughs and run Cyborg and Death Metal Batman, so that when I use Grasping Hand, it applies the power debuff under me. So I have some extra power, but it's still a very power heavy rotation despite having allies. So it's not really practical to run the basically the raid single target rotation in a solo. I mean, unless you're going to keep using solos and supply drops and stuff. But that's essentially it. I mean, I'm letting him heal just because there's no need not to, really. I mean, it is an elite solo, or was supposed to be an elite solo. I didn't really notice any change. All the gear that drops, as you can see, is either 305 or lower, or I think there's like 198 there, 305 there's like 319. So the gear that drops is nothing special, and really there's no special rewards that are dropping either, at least in content. There's going to be that on the vendor once I show you. But let's pick this up on the second part, which is going to be the Lexcorp Tower. Okay, so we're picking this up on the second solo, which is going to be the Birds of Prey, Lexcorp Tower Elite. Now, this doesn't feel that. I know Birds of Prey felt so long ago, but it really doesn't feel like as much. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people remember the solo when you're fighting Lobo at the end. This is it. This is the elite version of it. Once again, you're going to see not really any elite changes. It's more so just me making life more difficult for myself. But once again, don't forget to skip the cutscene. Definitely don't want any of those, even though you're still having a cutscene.
We'll have to do this the old-fashioned way.
But I understand like we're getting most of like the Superman related stuff because of Superman Day or month or celebration. Forgive me for my ignorance on that, but I know something related to Superman has been going on this month. But yeah, this is essentially straightforward. So I mean, at least the advantages of these two solos, run Last Son of Krypton and this Lexcorp Tower, is that they're very short, and you can do both in like what 3-4 minutes. I mean, I added a minute worth of cutscene to the other one, and I probably added another like 45 seconds to a minute just by not allowing him to heal. I mean, you could have easily disabled it and then like dropped an ally orbital and just killed it. But I was just being stubborn. But yeah, both are very quick. So I mean, if you want to farm the feats for the solos and especially for the elite ones, because I mean the death metal has been out long enough that most of you guys should be like 375 or higher. I mean, I didn't even play the beginning of the DLC. I only started playing once the double weekend came out. So I went from like CR like 350 or 360 to like 378 in like a weekend. So I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's not realistic to blow through that many replays, but I mean, most of you should be like 375 to 378, kind of in that range. I'm not expecting you to have like full OP back or neck or anything like that, but you should all be around similar CR levels. So I mean, even running elite like this is not going to be any challenge to anyone. There's no new mechanics whatsoever. It's not like between running solo and run elite. There's absolutely no changes. All it is the CR is higher and you take a little bit more damage. I mean, the Hive Master can still kill you with his heat vision here. I almost die. I mean, technically, all you have to do is interrupt him like I did the first time and just kind of nuke him. I didn't use an orbital supply or anything like that, but I mean, all you have to do is just either interrupt him so he doesn't do heat vision and tick you a few times. You can dodge it or run away or whatever you want to do. But I mean, even though I took a lot of damage here, it easily could have been avoided. I just kind of stayed in the rotation and that was it, just to see basically if I could die. But I didn't have to touch hardly any of my utility belt for this. But yeah, like I was saying, there's absolutely no changes in terms of mechanics. There's nothing new. There's no new attacks, no new allies. Nothing's been added. All it is just they've increased the CR, which is in turn has increased the difficulty. Not the difficulty in terms of like increase the damage that you're taking. But it's still going to be like 3-4 minutes. Like, I'm not buffed at all. I'm not using like I have my pet out, but I'm hardly using my utility belt. I use like what 1 or 2 supercharges. So I mean, at the same time, it's not unrealistic what I'm doing, and even though I'm fully CR'd and like fully geared, it's not unrealistic in terms of you being able to achieve similar time results.
If there's any clear evidence about his true fate, it'll be here.
But yeah, we're gonna end up with Lobo in a moment here. I mean, same thing. All you avoid is Chariot, which didn't change mechanics wise, where it just do like a strafing run. I mean, it's still going to do its flamethrower attacks, which you can all avoid. I mean, Lobo's still going to pull you in with his chains. I mean, nothing really in terms of Lobo's changed at all. It's still the exact same fight. And like I said before, it should be familiar with most of you guys. I think it was it the beginning? I think it was because it was the beginning of the pandemic. That's when Birds of Prey came out, kind of towards the beginning. Because I remember like just massive lag, and I could barely even play, and I couldn't even record some raids because of all the lag. Like Fire and Brimstone, I don't even have a raid of Fire and Brimstone on my channel just because I couldn't record it because of all the lag. I had to play in the. Honestly, the sad thing is I had to go to the EU server to record with Pony and do like Clock Tower and our speed runs of that and such. I had to go there because I wasn't lagging on EU, but I was lagging on US side. Go figure. But I think that's why I probably remember it more, and I think a lot of people do as well, because this was the first DLC Birds of Prey that most people were home because of the pandemic or schools being canceled and such like that. So I know it's kind of sidetracked off the State of the Universe topic, but I'm going to bring you a series of videos so you guys all know. I'm going to be covering the Elite Alerts. I'm going to be covering the Elite Raids. The vendor updates, everything to do with State of the Universe will be covered on this channel. Subscribe and stay tuned. Thank you guys, and thanks for watching.
They're in trouble. Take that